What's up, true believers? It is I, the dire turkey that is the OGGM. It is Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. It's the night before Thanksgiving and all through the house. It's about 8:30 in the morning. It's the 23rd day of November, which means if you haven't started your Thanksgiving shopping yet, you probably should. It's about 68 degrees and sunny here at Site B, wearing an appropriate t-shirt for Night of the Dire Turkey. And it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game product that should be on the shelves of your friendly local game store wherever you live. Unless you live in where I live, where you have 4 game stores who don't carry D&D stuff. But as always, before you rush down to the store and get angry because they don't have it in stock, and then you go, well, the OGGM said he had it in stock. Call ahead. Make sure, hello, yeah, North Coast Role Player, do you have that new role-playing game that the OGGM said you had in stock? And, oh yeah, we have it in stock. No, we don't have that stuff. Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's see what's going on out. It's the holidays, so we should either have a lot of stuff coming out or absolutely nothing. From Goodman Games, we have Caverns of the Sea Strangers. This is a soft-cover D&D adventure for $10. It's an adventure in the ocean. I don't know how I would have known that with a name like Cavern of the Sea Strangers. So you've got a barren island surrounded by dangerous rocks, and on that island is the villain's lair, and yes, pirates, dinosaurs, island, giant monsters. I love Pirate Island, Dinosaur Jungle Island, so I'm going to like that one. From Legendary Games, we have The Way of Kai, Meditation of the Imperial Mystics, and The Way of Kai Expanded. These are Dungeons & Dragons softcover supplements for $15 each. They are Asian-inspired. Guys, you're going to get in trouble for doing this, right? Adding samurais and ninjas and new things for monks and stuff like that. I mean, it's really just not the best time to do Asian-inspired additions to the world's most popular role-playing game, guys, because somebody's just going to go, that's virtue signaling. That's cultural appropriation. That's racist. That didn't actually exist. What's the latest one? Oh, Japan is not a fantasy world. So as much as a lot of us love the whole kung fu fighting thing, it's just probably not a good product to make right now. Crucible 7 brings us Church of Steel for Wrath and Glory RPG. This is a $35 hardcover built around the worlds of Adeptus Mechanicus and the Machine Cult in the Gilead system. So Warhammer 40k. There was a wonderful thing on YouTube last night that I just stumbled across about the guy who is painting Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k army, and how that army is going to be auctioned off to charity after Henry plays it. So good on you, Henry, for being the representative of Warhammer 40k and Warhammer, and just being a generally all-around cool dude who may or may not be a Superman. From Columbia Games, we have Kingdom of Meldurin for Harn. Oh, it's always nice to see. Oh, God, it feels like my glasses are digging into the side of my head. Don't you hate that? It's always nice to see some Harn. You rarely ever see Harn, and Harn is one of those, tabletop role-playing game settings that should have gotten a lot more love, but it never really did, at least not where I live. I mean, there might be places in the rest of the United States where Harn is huge and across the world, but here in California, nope. It was never the campaign setting of choice for fantasy players, which is too bad because it is an amazing and beautiful setting. From Goodman Games, we have Dungeon Crawl Classes 8th printing and Night of the Bog Beast. Dungeon Crawl Classes is, of course, an infamously awesome fantasy setting, sort of streamlined 3E, but with tons of random tables. It is just gonzo awesomeness. Aaron the Pedantic used to talk about this all the time before he took his break. Thankfully, Aaron is back and talking about DCC again on his channel. So if you ever want to find out anything about Dungeon Crawl Classic, check out Aaron the Pedantic. Night of the Bog Beast is a OSR OGL OSE fantasy game supplement for Dungeon Crawl Classic, but could be used with any fantasy type game that uses D20. It's a level 2 horror mystery set in a alligator-infested swamp. Oh, probably Scooby-Doo shows up. Now let's see who the Swamp Monster really is. Yoink! The OGGM! And I would have gotten away with it too. You know that's how my career is going to end, right? So. From Merciless Merchants, we have Palace of the Unquiet Repose for Dungeon Crawl classes. This is a $20 softcover supplement for level 3 adventurers and using DCC, where you go into a depths of the earth and fight princes of vaguely Lovecraftian type stuff, devourers of children, horrible stuff like that. So gonzo fantasy horror. From Renegade Game Studios for the G.I. Joe RPG. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. We have Operation Cold Iron. This is a hardcover adventure for $5, picking up where the previous adventure leaves off. It takes 3 to 6 Joes off on an adventure into the icy cold to stop Cobra from releasing an army of HISS tanks and SNAKE army. I mean, it's G.I. Joe. What's not to love? And that seems to be it. Keith Baker has a new book coming out, and it is Chronicles of Eberron. So Keith Baker is still actively supporting his beloved campaign setting of Eberron. It is a 5e source book, not done through Wizards of the Coast. It is on DM's Guild, and you will notice on the cover, nowhere does it have the 5e or for use with Dungeons and Dragons symbol on it. So Keith Baker is definitely making his statement known in regards to Eberron and his relationship with Wizards of the Coast, that he is continuing to make Eberron stuff, whether Wizards of the Coast likes it or not. Very clever that Keith Baker, when he won the contest, made sure that he still held the rights to Eberron. And speaking of other companies, games with rights, of course, yesterday, Wizards of the Coast announced that the digital product for Shadows of the Dragon Queen is live on D&D Beyond. So if you have D&D Beyond, you can go and buy this for however much it costs and have the PDF/D&D Beyond information for Shadows of the Dragon Queen. Now, I know there's a couple of people out there who are going, I have the book and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you're lying. Nobody has the book yet. Unless you're one of the 5 people Wizards of the Coast set a review copy to. No, you don't have the book. You have the digital copy. So anybody who's, going up saying, I have the book, yeah, they're lying. Reviews are starting to pour in regarding Shadow of the Dragon Queen. As expected, it's 60-40. 40% are like, yeah, this is great. It's wonderful. It's so much better than anything Wizards of the Coast has done before. And the 60% is like, oh my God, this is just a slog, badly written, and doesn't do justice to the creation that Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman created. One guy, which I think said the best in regards to Kryn and Dragonlance and Shadows of the Dragon Queen, he said, okay, Margaret and Tracy gave us Kryn, and they are the shepherds of Kryn and Dragonlance, okay? But in Dragonlance, in the world of Kryn, there's this small little chunk that D&D, Wizards of the Coast, controls. So that's the, what Wizards of the Coast can in Dragonlance. But everything else, that's Margaret Weiss and Tracy's world. So Dragonlance is still Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman's world. Wizards of the Coast just has a small little colony where they can do whatever they want. And the rest of the Dragonlance world is just going, oh, that's nice. You just keep doing what you're doing in your little chunk of the world, but the rest of us are going to continue to tell the story that Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman created. And I think that's probably the best way to view this. Wizards of the Coast has got their chunk of Dragonlance, and they can do whatever they want. But for the rest of us, the rest of you, whatever Margaret and Tracy says goes, and they control the rest of Kryn. So, yeah, have fun on your little island. We will continue to follow the Dragonlance. Will this be the the last gasp of 5e crawling its way out of the muck that it has created for itself over the past 2 years and going, yes, see, we actually made a good book. Please stop picking on us. Or will this be, as my friend over at Diversity and Dragon said, the final nail in the coffin of Wizards of the Coast? If this does not sell, and if this receives any more negative reviews, or even one individual going, that's racist or sexist or homophobic or whatever about this product line, then yeah, that could be it for Wizards of the Coast. I don't know. I mean, this is the last thing they have for 2024, so we'll see. I mean, what is it? 2022? Doesn't it say 2024? Yeah. You can tell I haven't had coffee yet. This is their last hurrah for 2022. So if Dragonlance does well, that they're okay going into 2023 and whatever nonsense they have planned for 2023. If Dragonlance does poorly, I have a feeling we're going to see another replacement of Wizards of the Coast staff. So we'll see. Again, 60-40. 40% of the reviews are like, this is awesome. 60% of the reviews are like, this is... So we'll see what happens over the weekend. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you don't appreciate this content and would prefer the direction of the vlog to go in a different direct... You know what I mean. Yes, there's a vacuum cleaner behind me because I have to vacuum. Let me know if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet. Please subscribe. Help me reach 1,000 subs. As always, remember, these products are only supposed to be on the shelves, but due to the continuing issues with shipping and production and general nonsense, they may not be. Before you go running down to your friendly local game store, that's North Coast Role Playing in Eureka, California, call up ahead and make sure they have it in stock. And then don't get mad at me if they don't. Or you could just bypass all that trouble by checking out the OGGM merch at the links down below and just buying your loved ones in your family who are gamers my merch. We should have a couple new t-shirts coming out before the end of the year if all goes well, so I'm excited about that. Till next time, remember to start that cooking, and remember, if you haven't done your Thanksgiving shopping yet, 7-Eleven is open 24 hours, and I will talk to you later. Get off my turkey.